The following is rated F for fairness. Viewers' discretion is advised.
Welcome to the audio show.
So I haven't been to the barber in a while, but my friend, friends here in the chat has advised me that hey, the lawyer's cut is extremely fresh. Nonetheless, hey, they're trying to whitewash the Amber character for her supporters. Like I said, there are two. The Amber supporting base has now been split in two. It has split into people who love Amber, but they don't support the slackness that's going on, and there's people who love Amber vehemently, and they're looking for things to be okay with what Amber has going on. Let's go.
Honestly, I need to be honest with you.
Okay.
I probably should have told you this in the beginning, but Anthony wasn't the only one that cheated. I cheated on Anthony as well.
You cheated on Anthony,
I did.
and you didn't think I should know this.
Yeah, but okay, so they're gonna bring up that it's before the marriage. We kind of, anyways. Okay.
I mean, it was before we got married. It was up until the
Girl,
day.
stop.
What?
Girl, you had me scared. We're not worried about pre-marriage. That was
Yeah, but
single Amber.
He keeps bringing it up in my face, and to be honest, I cheated on the day that we got married.
Okay, so let me just make sure that y'all know that. Notice that she says she's cheated on the day she got married. So for the people who keep saying them sleep together and nothing had happened, yes, them sleep together and something had clearly happened. All right. So for the people who keep saying that, that is basically what that is at this point in time. So there is nothing else to it. It's just that. Yeah. As of right now, that's where I want people to live when it comes to the whole cheating saga. That yes, she had cheated up to the day of her wedding, and that's about it.
You didn't cheat when you were married. The
No.
day of, you were still single. He keeps bringing it up because he's insecure. We're not.
So let me work this out, because see what's going on with the show is this. Like I said before, there are two different sides of Amber fans. There are Amber fans who are disappointed and are basically spiritually and morally, people who deal with morality. Then there's the Amber set of fans who basically are saying, you know what, we don't really care about the morality of things. Hey, we don't really business as to what's going on then. We business about what's going on now. In other words, for them, it's making Amber right. Again, the problem with this is that Amber wasn't presented this way. Okay? What they were when they sold this Amber to the audience, they sold an Amber who was a goody two shoes. They sold an Amber who was a very morally sound person. They sold an Amber who basically was into a bunch of spirituality, who connected with the base of the audience while they were talking about Jesus was popping. So now what they're trying to do now is to erase, to rub out the cheating that she had with Wayne, to basically say she's not a cheater. Now in my book, that doesn't work. Because let me flip it around. And let me ask you out there, ladies. Would you want your spouse to be cheating up to the day of them wedding? Let me ask you that. In other words, would you still marry them? Because that's what the argument is. The argument is, would you still marry a person even though they're cheating up to the day of the wedding? That's the question.
About pre-marriage, girl. You can't do that. We're not worried about that. Get that out your head. You didn't cheat.
So he can't like influence a
cheat.
judge.
No.
Okay. Well, that is
No, we're not worried about that. Now, it changes a few things because I'm pretty sure he's going to try to spin it to make you look like a different person. And that's going to drag it out, which is going to be more money.
Correct. So as far as the lawyer is concerned, she don't mind this because basically she's getting paid. And listen to me, one thing I've learned about lawyers in my time of having to deal with lawyers, and I've not had too much encounter, but I've had a lot of more second-hand spending encounter, meaning, I have, family members who have had to deal with lawyers they don't mind spending the time. So they don't mind spending the time right now with Amber. She doesn't mind spending the time with Amber right now. She'll be Amber's support system every single day because every moment that she talks to Amber, she's being charged.
For you.
Well,
Oh, you love the drag out, huh? I see what you about.
Look, I do my best work when we have to take time and do a little more investigating and research. I wouldn't say drag it out, but it's best for Amber. Team Amber, but don't
It
worry
doesn't
about
matter because
anything.
Anthony gonna be paying for it anyway, so we can
Absolutely.
drag it out. I guess.
Let's drag.
Well, let's see about that. That's going to be interesting to see exactly if he's really and truly going to be paying for it. I think now they're going to have to answer the question about the previous divorce, which to see exactly if that's on or off. Because, I like the work that Charmin and Sharon Reviews does. The only problem with this is that they keep going back and forth with the stories now, Charmin and Sharon Reviews. So now we realize that whatever they gave before, they don't remember the script. Put it that way. So even when let me just remember when y'all came up and y'all said they never sleep together on the morning of the wedding. Notice that she is now confirming that they sleep together on the morning of the wedding.
Let's run with it like a
But I don't
drag
want to
race.
drag it that long, Constance. I need out. I need to move on with my life.
We're gonna get you.
So it's nothing that he cannot use that against me.
He can bring it up, but it's not gonna be used against you because it's irrelevant.
It's irrelevant in terms of the court case in itself. It is relevant in case of the argument that Amber is trying to put forward that Anthony is a demon and a cheater and that basically he's the worst man in the world when she basically showing patterns that she's always had the same patterns. It's relevant there. So that's really the argument. For those people who think that we're trying to argue the other little piece, them no, we're arguing is how you're positioning the Amber character. Like I said, if it was a Dominic, if it was a J Diva, if it was a Glow, if it was a name of the person from Skitland, if it was an Ernestine, we would have already expected it. It's because it's Amber, that's why it's different. Because she's been the one that basically has been going around and basically, shooting people with her moral gun to tell them what them can and can't do and what them should and shouldn't be doing and this and that and whatever it is. That's why she's getting the flack. In case you don't really understand where the arguments lie, why we have the discussions we have, and why we get in the way we get in. That's why we're having those talks.
You having a fling as a single woman prior to getting married is your right.
And after filing, cannot.
In other words, ladies, the lawyer's trying to tell you that if you're thinking of getting married and your fiance is having a fling, you need to be okay with it. I'm just translating this so only hear how it sounds. Because it sounds good when you're doing it, when you're not the one on the receiving end. When you're the one that is doing the cheating, it sounds good because you ain't feeling nothing. But when it's on the next side, that's exactly what's going on. So that's where the argument is in all of this.
100% faithful during your marriage. He was not. I got you.
All right. Well, someone is calling. I gotta take this.
Okay.
Good to
I
see you.
understand.
Thank
You too.
I'm parked on the other side. So.
Okay.
Well, that takes care of that. We are where we are. Like I said before, we are where we are. We're gonna be where we're gonna be. It is what it is at this point in time. I already knew it was actually going here, and I kind of was mentioning to people that this is what it was. So, hey, it is what it is. But yes, it absolutely. The idea of all of this is to basically try to take some of the heat off the Amber character. The Amber fan base has been split in two. Team Amber has been split in two. There's one set of Amber that doesn't care. They like everything that she has done, and for them, she is basically right 100%. Then there's the next side of the audience who is saying, no, hold on a little minute. This kind of looks shaky though, Amber, because coming into the marriage, you're cheating. And then, now going out of the marriage, you're basically with another man again. It looks like a pattern. Wait, Amber, you're questionable because you're telling Anthony that he was all this much of a cheater and he was a no good man and he was the moral compass balances on that side of the audience. No, those Amber fans is who only like talking to because at least I get the truth from them versus the next set of Amber fans who are delusionally blind. Anyways, nonetheless, I'll talk to everyone. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I'm going to talk to you soon.